Chosen one, you are here now because deep within you feel the pull of something greater, something that requires you to slow down, to let go, and to trust in God's perfect timing. For so long, you may have been living with an underlying sense of impatience, a constant striving for something more, something bigger, something better. But what if I told you that this impatience is holding you back from fully experiencing the life God has set before you? What if the very thing keeping you from the peace, fulfillment, and success you desire is the pace at which you've been trying to move? Impatience is a natural human emotion, chosen one. It often comes from a desire to control outcomes, to move things forward at a pace that makes sense to us. But when we take matters into our own hands, when we rush or force things to happen, we can unintentionally disrupt the divine timing God has in place for us. You see, God has a plan for your life, one that is perfectly designed and uniquely tailored to who you are and where He is taking you. And in that plan, timing plays a crucial role. But impatience doesn't align with divine timing. It only fuels frustration, uncertainty, and feelings of inadequacy. Impatience keeps you from seeing the full picture, from trusting God's timing, and from receiving the blessings He has already prepared for you. Now, don't misunderstand me, chosen one. Impatience doesn't make you a bad person. It's a very human reaction. But it is important for you to recognize that impatience is a barrier that keeps you from moving in sync with God's plan. It is a barrier that clouds your ability to trust, to rest, and to embrace the journey God has laid before you. If you are constantly racing ahead, you miss the moments of stillness and peace that are meant to shape you, to build your faith, and to prepare you for what's next. Your impatience drives you to act out of fear, to make hasty decisions, and to take shortcuts that often lead to unnecessary struggle. Think for a moment, chosen one. How many times have you found yourself in a hurry? How many times have you wanted things to happen now or as quickly as possible, only to be met with resistance, frustration, or disappointment? The world constantly pushes you to be fast, to achieve quickly, and to succeed now. It tells you that you need to be the first, the fastest, the most impressive. But God's kingdom operates on a different rhythm. It doesn't work according to human standards of time, but according to a divine, perfect timing that leads to the best outcomes for your life. And this divine timing cannot be rushed. It can only be embraced through patience, trust, and faith in God's process. Impatience creates an internal tension within you, chosen one. You feel like you need to keep pushing, keep striving, keep moving, all in the pursuit of something that you believe will bring you happiness or fulfillment. But this relentless pursuit often leaves you feeling empty, anxious, and disconnected. The world may tell you that you need to do more to achieve your desires, but God invites you to do something different. He invites you to rest, to trust, and to surrender. Instead of running ahead, He calls you to wait, knowing that His timing will bring about far greater outcomes than anything you could have accomplished on your own. Take a moment, chosen one, to reflect on the areas of your life where impatience has played a role. Are you rushing to achieve a certain goal, to reach a milestone, or to move on to the next phase of life? Are you feeling frustrated because things aren't moving as quickly as you would like? Are you struggling with the waiting process, longing for something that hasn't yet come to fruition? These feelings are valid, but I want to remind you of something important. God's timing is perfect. And even when things feel slow or uncertain, He is always working on your behalf. You see, impatience is often rooted in a lack of trust. It is a sign that you are not fully trusting God with the timing of your life. When we rush ahead, when we force things to happen on our own, we are essentially telling God that we don't believe He knows what's best for us. We are saying that we trust our own timing, our own understanding, more than we trust His. But God, in His infinite wisdom and love, has a plan for you that is far greater than anything you could imagine. And His timing is always in alignment with your greatest good. In this first step, I invite you to release the need to control the pace of your life. Choose to surrender your impatience and trust that God is working behind the scenes. Choose to believe that He knows what you need when you need it. Trust that his timing is better than your own and that he is preparing you for something even greater than what you've been striving for. This is not a call to be passive, but to move in step with God's rhythm, to act when he calls you to, and to rest when he says wait. The key here, chosen one, is to understand that God's timing is not a delay, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to grow, to learn, to become more deeply aligned with his will for your life. While you may be focused on the destination, God is focused on the journey, on what he needs to shape and refine in you before you reach the next step. Every season of waiting, every moment of pause is a chance for you to deepen your faith, to trust him more fully, and to embrace the lessons he is teaching you. The world may tell you to make things happen, but God calls you to trust his timing. He calls you to let go of the need to control and embrace the peace that comes with knowing that he is guiding you. In those moments of waiting, take a deep breath, relax, and release your stress and frustration to him. Trust that he is orchestrating everything in your life with perfect precision. You don't need to force your way forward. God is already leading you to where you need to be. Allow yourself to rest in that knowledge, chosen one. So what does it look like to live in alignment with God's timing? It looks like patience. It looks like trust. It looks like surrender. It looks like believing that God is good and that his timing is always perfect. It's about letting go of the pressure to make things happen and embracing the peace of knowing that he is at work in your life. When you trust in God's timing, you allow his will to unfold naturally. And when that happens, you'll find that everything falls into place in his perfect timing. Word count 102. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section. 2. With 1100 words. Section 2. Chosen one, now that you've begun to understand how impatience disrupts your divine path, let's explore the deeper struggle that lies beneath the desire for control. You see, impatience often springs from the same root, our need to control outcomes. When you feel like things aren't moving at the pace you desire, it's often because you are trying to take matters into your own hands. You want to steer the ship, chart the course, and dictate the pace of your journey. But here's the truth: while it's human to want control, true peace comes when you surrender control to God and trust that his plan for you is better than anything you could plan yourself. The desire for control is something many of us struggle with, chosen one. We live in a world that constantly tells us to take charge, to be the master of our fate, and to fight for our place. We are told that we must earn success, create opportunities, and hustle until we reach our goals. This mindset can make it difficult to trust that God has already orchestrated a perfect plan for your life. The pressure to control everything can overwhelm you and take away your peace, leading you to feel anxious, uncertain, and yes, impatient. Let's take a step back for a moment. Think about the areas of your life where you feel the most pressure, the most anxiety. Is it in your career, your finances, your relationships, or your personal growth? In these areas, do you find yourself trying to take control, pushing forward with all your might, believing that only through your effort will success come? The truth is that you are not alone in this. Many of us do the same. But God is inviting you, chosen one, to release this burden of control and to trust that he has already paved the way for you. The more you try to force things to happen, the more frustrated you become. It's like trying to force a door open when it's meant to swing wide at the right time. Releasing the need to control doesn't mean that you give up on your dreams or stop working toward your goals. It means that you let go of the belief that you have to make everything happen on your own. God is with you, chosen one. He is guiding you, and he has a plan that is far greater than anything you could have designed. When you learn to trust his timing, you align yourself with that plan, and you step into a place of peace that comes from knowing that God is in control. One of the greatest challenges in releasing control is overcoming the fear of the unknown. You might wonder, what if I don't know what's going to happen next? What if I don't know the next step? And it's this fear that pushes you to take control in the first place. But here's where faith steps in. Faith is the belief that God is with you in every moment, that He has already prepared the way for you, and that you can trust His timing even when you can't see the full picture. When you surrender your need for control, you make room for faith to take over. You choose to trust that God's way is better than your own. Think about it, chosen one. When has your impatience and need for control ever truly helped you? Has it led to peace? Has it brought you closer to the life you desire? More often than not, it leads to frustration, burnout, and a feeling of being stuck. The striving to make things happen can leave you feeling empty even when you do reach your goals. This is because at the core, it's not the outcome that brings peace, it's the process. And when you surrender the process to God, you invite peace into the journey, knowing that He is guiding you step by step. Releasing the need to control also requires you to trust that God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to you. His timeline doesn't always match yours, and that can be hard to accept. But as you trust in His timing, you begin to see that the waiting, the pauses, and the moments of seeming delay are all part of His perfect plan. Perhaps you're waiting for a promotion, a new opportunity, or healing in a relationship. Whatever you're waiting for, remember that God's timing is not about waiting in vain. It's about preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. Waiting is not about stagnation, it's about preparation. God uses the waiting time to build your character, strengthen your faith, and refine your heart. This process of releasing control and trusting in God's timing doesn't always happen overnight. It's a continuous practice, a journey that unfolds as you grow in faith. But with each moment that you choose to trust, with each step you take in surrender, you become more aligned with God's will for your life. The more you release control, the more you embrace His timing, and the more you experience the peace that only He can provide. Imagine the freedom that comes from releasing your need to control every detail of your life. Imagine the peace that fills your heart when you stop striving and simply trust that God has everything under control. This freedom is not just for a few moments of your life, it's for your entire life. When you trust God with every part of your being, you no longer have to carry the weight of worrying about the future or forcing things to happen. You can rest in the assurance that God is leading you step by step exactly where you need to go. It's also important to acknowledge, chosen one, that the process of releasing control doesn't mean that you become passive. Surrendering your need for control doesn't mean that you do nothing. It means that you move forward with faith, with trust, and with an open heart. It means that you actively seek God's guidance and then take steps in alignment with His will. You don't wait for everything to fall into place on its own. You trust that as you move forward in His timing, He will open the doors and direct your steps. Your life is not meant to be lived in a constant state of stress, worry, and frustration. God has called you to live in peace, chosen one. And that peace comes when you release control, when you trust His timing, and when you align your actions with His perfect plan. Every time you let go of impatience and fear, you step into a deeper experience of His peace, joy, and divine blessing. So, chosen one, let go of the need to control and embrace the rhythm of God's timing. Trust that He is working everything together for your good, and that the wait is never in vain. In His perfect timing, everything will fall into place. Trust that He knows the desires of your heart and that His plans for you are greater than anything you could have imagined. Live with the peace of knowing that God is in control and that His timing is always right. Word count 101. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section 3. With 1100 words. Section 3. Chosen one, as you begin to understand the deep connection between impatience and your need for control, you must recognize the next crucial aspect of this journey, learning to wait on God's timing. The Bible is filled with reminders of the power of waiting on the Lord, waiting for His provision, and trusting that he will move when the time is right. Waiting is not a passive activity, chosen one, but a purposeful one. In the waiting, God is working, shaping, and preparing you for the blessings that are about to unfold. The act of waiting with intention is one of the most powerful spiritual practices you can engage in, for it cultivates patience, trust, and alignment with God's divine plan. The waiting period may feel uncomfortable at times. Our human nature longs for instant gratification, to see results quickly, and to know the outcome right now. But God's timing is always perfect, chosen one, and when you choose to wait on him, you align yourself with his sovereign plan. This doesn't mean that waiting will be easy. It may still be challenging, and at times it may feel like the silence of waiting is unbearable. But in these moments, remember that the waiting itself is part of God's process for your life. God uses waiting to prepare your heart, to strengthen your faith, and to grow your trust in his provision. Waiting is where he refines your character, shaping you into the person he has designed you to be. It's in the waiting that God reveals to you what is truly important and helps you focus on what truly matters. He allows the waiting period to teach you patience, to show you the value of trusting in his perfect timing, and to deepen your reliance on him alone. Patience, chosen one, is a virtue that cannot be rushed. It must be cultivated. And it is in the moments of waiting that you learn patience in its fullest sense. You learn that you don't need to control the outcome because God is already at work in ways you can't even see. You learn to trust in his plan and to surrender your timelines to his. When you wait with a heart of gratitude and trust, you allow God to move in your life in ways that will far exceed your expectations. He has a plan for you that is greater than anything you could imagine, and it's in the waiting that he prepares you to walk in it. But what does waiting on God's timing look like? Practically, how do you remain patient when everything within you wants to act, to push, to strive for the answers? Now it begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing waiting as a frustrating pause, see it as a season of growth, a season where God is refining you, preparing you for the next step in his divine plan. You may not know what the next step is yet, but God does. And while you wait, he is preparing your heart, your spirit, and your mind to receive what he has for you. Another key aspect of waiting is learning to be still. In a world filled with distractions and the constant pull to do more, be more, and achieve more, it can be difficult to slow down and simply be present with God. But stillness is where God speaks most clearly. It is in the quiet moments of waiting that his voice is most distinct. When you learn to be still and listen to his voice, you begin to hear the direction he is calling you to follow. Stillness opens the door to clarity and peace. It allows you to tune out the noise of the world and hear the gentle whispers of God's guidance. So when you find yourself waiting, take time to rest in his presence, to be still before him, and to listen for his voice. Waiting also teaches you to let go of your need to control the situation. You may have your own ideas about how things should unfold, when they should happen, and in what order. But God's plan doesn't always follow our timeline. His ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. When you choose to wait on God's timing, you are choosing to trust that he knows what's best for you, even when you don't understand why things are happening the way they are. You are saying, God, I trust that you are in control, and I am willing to wait for your perfect timing. This kind of surrender is powerful. It requires humility and faith. It requires you to let go of your own agenda and to trust that God's plan is always better than your own. You may not see the full picture now, but God does. And in that trust, you begin to experience the peace that comes from knowing that he is leading you every step of the way. Waiting on God's timing is not about passively sitting by. It is about actively surrendering your control, trusting in his plan, and resting in his presence. You might be asking yourself, chosen one, what happens when I don't understand the waiting? What happens when it feels like God is silent, or when it feels like nothing is happening at all? This is where your faith is tested. In those moments of uncertainty, when everything feels like a waiting room, your trust in God's timing becomes paramount. It is in these times that you must remind yourself of the truth that God is always at work, even when you can't see it. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways that you cannot comprehend. Your job is to trust, to wait patiently, and to keep your heart open to His leading. Remember, chosen one, that your waiting is never in vain. It is in the waiting that God prepares you for what lies ahead. He knows the desires of your heart, and He is shaping your character, your perspective, and your readiness for the blessings He has already prepared for you. Waiting doesn't mean that God has forgotten you. It means that He is preparing something even greater than you could imagine. Trust in His timing and believe that He will make all things beautiful in His perfect time. And so, chosen one, I encourage you to embrace the waiting. See it as a season of growth, a season of preparation, and a season of divine trust. Know that God is with you in every moment of it. His timing is perfect, and as you wait, you are being aligned with His plan for your life. You are becoming who He created you to be, and you are stepping into the fullness of His blessings. Waiting is not a passive activity. It is a powerful act of faith, trust, and surrender to God's perfect will. Word count 102. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1,100 words. Continue the next section, 4 with 1,100 words. Section 4, chosen one, as you continue to wait on God's timing, it's important to recognize that waiting is not just about doing nothing. It's not about sitting idly and hoping that things will eventually change. No, waiting in God's timing is an active process. It is a practice that requires a deep trust in God, a patience that is rooted in faith, and a willingness to engage with the process even when it feels uncomfortable. While waiting, you will be tested, stretched, and shaped in ways that you may not expect, but every part of this process is working to prepare you for what God has planned. Waiting on God's timing isn't a period of inactivity. It is a season of growth, transformation, and divine alignment. The challenge in waiting is not just the passage of time, it's learning to wait with grace. It's easy to grow weary when things seem delayed or when progress feels stagnant. You may find yourself frustrated, wondering why things aren't happening the way you expected or the way you hoped. Perhaps you feel like the promises God has spoken over your life are taking longer to manifest than you anticipated, or maybe it seems like the world is moving at a pace that feels out of sync with your own. It is in these moments, chosen one, that you are called to remain steadfast, to continue to trust in the process, and to hold on to the faith that God is working everything out for your good. Waiting with grace requires you to let go of your own agenda, your own timeline, and the control you've tried so hard to maintain. It asks you to be patient, to trust, and to lean into the quiet assurance that God's ways are higher than your ways, and His timing is perfect. Patience is not simply about enduring a waiting period. It's about surrendering to God in the waiting, knowing that He is moving behind the scenes. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to deepen your trust in God and His plan for you. Every day that you choose to wait with patience is a day that God is using to refine you and prepare you for what lies ahead. One of the most important aspects of learning to wait is developing a deeper intimacy with God. In the waiting, He invites you to draw closer to Him, to rely on Him in ways that you might not have done when everything was moving at a faster pace. When you find yourself waiting for God's timing, you are invited into a space of trust and dependence. This is not a time for self-reliance or striving. It is a time for leaning into God's presence, for seeking His guidance, and for trusting that He knows what is best for you. As you wait, God is developing your character, shaping your heart, and refining your spirit. He is teaching you to trust in His timing, because He knows that when the right moment comes, you will be fully prepared to receive the blessings He has set aside for you. Waiting with grace also requires you to remain open to what God is doing in the present. Often when we are focused on the future, on the promises that we long to see fulfilled, we become blinded to the beauty and the blessings of the present moment. We become so focused on what we don't have that we miss what we do have. but God is always at work in the here and now. In the waiting, He is teaching you to value the journey as much as the destination. He is showing you that the process, the lessons learned, the character developed, and the relationships built along the way are just as important as the destination itself. As you wait, chosen one, take time to reflect on the small blessings around you. Acknowledge the ways in which God is working right now. You may not be where you thought you would be, but you are where God has placed you for this moment. There are opportunities to learn to grow and to serve even in the waiting. Sometimes the waiting is about preparing you not only for what God wants to give you, but also for who He wants you to become. The waiting time can be just as significant as the moment when the blessing finally arrives. Don't let impatience rob you of the beauty of this process. Each moment is part of a larger picture that God is painting with your life. When we think about waiting, we often think of it as a passive activity. But God calls you to wait with purpose, to engage in the process with a heart full of faith. It's not just about sitting and hoping for change. It's about actively participating in God's plan, trusting Him with your heart, your dreams, and your desires. As you wait, you have the opportunity to build your faith and your patience, to learn to surrender your will to God, and to embrace His perfect timing. God is not slow in fulfilling His promises, chosen one. He is perfecting the timing, aligning things in ways that you cannot see but will be evident when the time is right. Gratitude is also a key to waiting well, chosen one. As you wait for God's timing, choose to focus on what you have rather than on what you lack. Gratitude shifts your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. It opens your eyes to the blessings that are already present in your life. The more you focus on what you are grateful for, the more you align yourself with God's will and His plan for you. Gratitude during the waiting process cultivates a heart of trust and peace, and it reminds you that God has already provided for you even when it feels like there is more to wait for. This is why waiting on God's timing is so much more than a passive pause. It is an active, intentional process that shapes you, refines you, and prepares you. The more you trust, the more you rest in His promises, the more you embrace His presence, the more you will find that the waiting is not a time to be endured, but a time to be cherished. In the stillness and the quiet moments, God is preparing you for a future that is more beautiful than you can even imagine. Chosen one, don't rush ahead of God's plan. Don't let impatience steal the peace that God wants to give you. Embrace the waiting process. Trust that every moment is part of God's perfect timing. Even when the waiting feels long, know that God is at work. He is preparing you, shaping you, and making you ready for the blessings He has in store. Rest in the knowledge that His timing is always right, and when the time is perfect, He will move mountains for you. Word count 101. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 5. Chosen one, as you continue to walk in alignment with God's timing, you will begin to understand how waiting and patience become powerful catalysts for spiritual growth. Trusting God's timing isn't just about waiting for circumstances to change. It's about how God uses the waiting period to refine you, build your character, and prepare you for what lies ahead. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity for God to work in your life, to shape you into the person He has destined you to be. This process of waiting with patience not only deepens your faith, but also strengthens your ability to endure life's challenges with grace and trust. When you wait on God's timing, you are not wasting time, you are being prepared for your future. God uses every waiting season to refine your character, to teach you lessons that are vital for the next phase of your life. In these moments, He often works in ways that are unseen, shaping you internally, even as you wait for external circumstances to unfold. You may not see the full picture yet, but God is at work molding your heart, your spirit, and your mind. Waiting teaches you to trust His process, knowing that every season of your life is important, even if you don't fully understand it. Patience, as you may have learned by now, is not passive. It's an active process that requires intentional effort, a willingness to trust God, even when you cannot see the outcome. Patience strengthens your inner resolve, teaching you to rely on God's strength rather than your own. The more you choose patience, the more you grow in trust. You begin to realize that in God's perfect timing, all things will come together when He knows you are ready to receive them. The beauty of this divine timing is that it doesn't follow the world's expectations. It follows God's wisdom, which is always greater than our own understanding. But patience isn't just about enduring through tough times. It's about choosing to remain in God's peace, to rest in His presence, and to trust that He will work everything for your good. Patience allows you to live in harmony with God's will, knowing that your story is unfolding exactly as it should. Every moment of waiting is a chance to rely on God more fully, to build your faith in His ability to provide and to deepen your relationship with Him. When you are patient, you surrender your need for control and trust in God's ability to work all things together for your good. In this process, chosen one, God uses waiting to teach you to let go of immediate gratification. The world teaches us to want things now, to seek instant results and quick solutions. Yet instant gratification is often fleeting and unsatisfying. What God offers through His perfect timing is not fleeting, it is lasting and fulfilling. When you wait on God, you align yourself with His eternal plan for your life, which holds far greater rewards than anything the world can offer. The lessons learned in waiting, patience, trust, and perseverance, will stay with you and equip you for every season ahead. The challenge, of course, is that waiting can be difficult. We are impatient by nature, and when we are in the midst of uncertainty, it is hard to stay still. We long for answers, for resolutions, for the next chapter to begin. But in these moments, it's crucial to remind yourself that God's timing is not just about bringing things into your life. It's also about preparing you to receive them. Sometimes God allows us to wait because He knows that we need more time to grow, to learn, and to become who we need to be to handle the blessings He has for us. As you wait, chosen one, take time to reflect on how you've grown in this season. What lessons has God been teaching you? What areas of your life has He been refining? How has your trust in His timing deepened? Even when things seem uncertain or slow-moving, God is working behind the scenes, preparing you for the future He has promised. It's easy to focus on what isn't happening, but God wants you to focus on what is happening, what He is doing in you right now. He is not wasting your waiting. He is using every moment to refine, restore, and equip you for the next step. This period of waiting is also a time for you to develop an unwavering faith in God's goodness. It's easy to trust God when things are going well, but waiting requires you to trust Him even when the path ahead is unclear. It's in these moments of uncertainty that your faith is tested. You may be tempted to doubt, to fear, or to give up. But the more you choose to trust, the more you allow God's peace to settle in your heart. Trusting God's timing means believing that He is working in ways you cannot see, and that His plan for you is far better than anything you could imagine. The more you surrender your impatience and control, the more you will experience the peace of waiting on God. You will begin to see waiting as a gift, not a burden. It is in these moments of stillness that God does His most profound work in your life. These are the moments when He invites you to rest in His promises, to meditate on His faithfulness, and to trust that He is guiding you step by step. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means staying faithful, trusting, and resting in the assurance that God is moving on your behalf. Patience is also about learning to be content in the present, knowing that God's timing is always perfect. When you live with gratitude for where you are, even while you wait for what is to come, you invite God's peace into your life. Gratitude in the waiting changes your perspective. It reminds you that every moment is a gift and that God is present in all things. Gratitude keeps you focused on God's goodness, and it aligns your heart with His timing. As you practice patience, chosen one, you will find that your heart begins to soften. You will learn to trust God's timing more fully, and to surrender the urge to rush or control. You will experience the joy of waiting with purpose, knowing that God is shaping you and preparing you for the blessings that are to come. Patience becomes a source of strength, enabling you to face each day with confidence, hope, and trust that God's perfect plan is unfolding before you. So, chosen one, let patience be your companion in this season of waiting. Embrace the waiting process, knowing that God is doing a deep work in you. Trust that His timing is always right and that He will bring the right things into your life when the time is perfect. As you wait on His timing, you align yourself with His will and step into the fullness of the blessings He has in store for you. Word count 101. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section, 6 with 1100 words. Section 6. Chosen one, as you grow in understanding and practice of God's perfect timing, you will also come to realize how waiting, when embraced with patience, can transform your entire perspective on life. The world encourages you to hustle, to chase after success, and to take control of your destiny. But God's timing invites you to slow down, to trust, and to embrace the beauty of what is unfolding at this very moment. Waiting, when aligned with God's will, becomes a spiritual practice that allows you to experience life more fully. It shifts you from a mindset of striving to one of trusting, from a place of self-sufficiency to a posture of surrender. In the moments of waiting, you learn to let go of the illusion that you must have everything figured out. You relinquish the need to force things to happen and instead give God room to work. In this space of trust and surrender, you are able to let go of anxiety, fear, and impatience. The challenge, chosen one, is to allow God to move at His pace even when it feels uncomfortable. God's pace may not always match yours, but His pace is always in perfect alignment with His greater purpose for your life. As you wait, you will be tempted to doubt. Doubt will try to creep in and make you question God's goodness, His timing, or whether He is really working on your behalf. But this is where your faith is tested and strengthened. Trusting in God's timing is not about having all the answers. It is about believing that He knows what is best for you, even when the situation feels uncertain. You may not always understand why things are happening the way they are, but your trust in God's plan allows you to rest in the knowledge that He is in control. His timing is not random or capricious. It is always purposeful, always intentional, and always for your good. A key part of embracing God's timing, chosen one, is releasing the need for immediate gratification. Our world is built on the desire for instant results, quick fixes, and fast solutions. But true fulfillment and spiritual growth come through the process of waiting. Instant gratification may give you temporary satisfaction, but it never leads to lasting peace or joy. God's timing, on the other hand, leads you to something deeper, something far greater than anything that can be rushed or forced. It leads you to the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you need to be, and that every moment is a step toward the life He has planned for you. Waiting, then, is not about wasting time. It's about preparation. It's about creating space for God to shape you, refine you, and equip you for what lies ahead. God is not interested in rushing you to the next stage of your life without preparing your heart for what He is about to do. He wants to develop in you the qualities you will need to handle the blessings He has in store for you. Patience, perseverance, and trust are all cultivated in the waiting periods of life. Without them, you may find it difficult to handle the very blessings you've been longing for. God, in His wisdom, allows the waiting periods to prepare you for what He has for you next. So, chosen one, embrace the waiting with a heart full of trust and anticipation. Don't see the waiting as a barrier to your progress, but as an essential part of God's process. Waiting allows you to step into your destiny with confidence, knowing that you have been prepared for what is to come. The gifts that you will receive in God's perfect timing will be greater than anything you could have rushed into. It is in the waiting that your heart is aligned with His will and your faith is strengthened to receive the blessings He has in store for you. Another important aspect of waiting on God's timing is learning to appreciate the present moment. It's easy to become fixated on the future and the things we hope to achieve. We can easily become so focused on what's ahead that we miss out on the blessings and lessons that are available to us right now. But when you choose to embrace God's timing, you also learn to live fully in the present. Gratitude plays a key role in this. When you are grateful for what you have, you become more aware of God's presence and provision in the here and now. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already possess. And as you wait, you begin to recognize the richness of the life you already have. Living in the present moment also means letting go of comparison. It's easy to look at others and feel like you are falling behind, especially when it seems like everyone else is moving forward faster than you. But when you trust in God's timing, you stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You recognize that each person's path is unique, and God has a specific plan for you. He has equipped you with everything you need for this season, and He will equip you for the next. There is no need to rush or to feel like you're missing out. The waiting season is as important as the moment when the blessings arrive. Embrace it, knowing that it's shaping you for the future. Trusting in God's timing also involves letting go of the pressure to perform or to prove yourself. The world will tell you that you must achieve, succeed, and be impressive in order to be valued. But God doesn't measure your worth by your achievements or by how quickly you accomplish things. Your worth is not based on what you do, but on who you are in Christ. When you embrace God's timing, you let go of the need to perform and instead rest in the truth that you are already loved, accepted, and valued. You don't have to rush to prove your worth to anyone. You are enough just as you are. There will be times, chosen one, when the waiting feels like a trial. The process may feel long, the answers may seem delayed, and doubt may try to creep in. But this is when your trust in God's timing will be tested. It is in these moments that you must lean into your faith, remembering that God is always at work, even when you don't see it. He is always preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. And the waiting is not in vain. It is preparing you for a future filled with purpose, peace, and divine blessings. So, chosen one, embrace this season of waiting with grace and trust. Let it be a time of growth, reflection, and preparation. Trust that God is using this time to shape you into the person you need to be to fully experience the blessings He has in store for you. And when the time is right, He will move in ways that you could never have orchestrated on your own. His timing is always perfect, chosen one, and His plans for you are always for your good. Word count 101. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section. 7 with 1100 words. Section 7, chosen one, as you continue to embrace God's timing and release your need for control, you will experience a deep transformative shift in your heart. This shift is not only about releasing impatience or learning to wait, though that is vital. It is also about aligning your actions with God's divine rhythm. As you step into His timing, you will learn to act with intention, to move with peace, and to embrace the stillness that prepares you for the blessings ahead. The key is this: while God's timing calls for patience and trust, it does not call for passivity. God's timing invites you to actively engage with Him, to take steps in faith, and to trust that every moment, every action is part of His greater purpose. When you align your actions with God's timing, you begin to experience life at a deeper level. You are no longer rushing or striving for results. Instead, you are walking in sync with God, taking each step as He leads. This alignment allows you to move forward with peace and confidence, knowing that the timing of each step is exactly right. The more you trust in God's timing, the more you can release your fears and doubts, and you will begin to see that the struggles you face are not obstacles. They are part of God's plan to mold you and prepare you for what's to come. You may be asking yourself, chosen one, how do I align my actions with God's timing? It begins with surrendering your plans and desires to Him. God is not asking you to abandon your dreams or to stop working toward your goals, but He is asking you to release your agenda and to trust that His way is better than your own. Surrendering doesn't mean inaction. It means letting go of the need to control and allowing God to direct your path. This involves listening for His guidance, seeking His wisdom, and taking steps of faith when He leads you. The more you align your actions with His will, the more you will experience peace and fulfillment, even in the midst of uncertainty. One of the most powerful ways to align your actions with God's timing is to cultivate a heart of discernment. Discernment is the ability to hear God's voice clearly and to recognize His leading in your life. As you learn to discern God's voice, you will know when to act, when to wait, and when to simply trust. Discernment comes from a deep relationship with God where you seek His will in all things. The more time you spend in His presence, the clearer His voice will become. You will begin to recognize His guidance in the small moments of your life, and this awareness will give you the confidence to act in alignment with His timing. But alignment with God's timing also requires patience, chosen one. While discernment helps you know when to act, patience teaches you to wait for God's perfect timing before you move. There will be moments when God calls you to act immediately when He opens a door, and you must walk through it with courage and trust. But there will also be moments when God calls you to wait to trust that He is preparing the right time for you to step forward. In those moments, your patience becomes an act of faith. It's in the waiting that you learn to rely on God, to trust that He is working behind the scenes and to embrace His timing, even when it doesn't align with your own expectations. Patience in action doesn't mean inaction. It means being attentive, ready to move when God says it's time. It's about being prepared in your heart and spirit for the next step, knowing that God is at work even when you don't see the full picture. When you are aligned with God's timing, you don't have to worry about what's coming next, because you trust that He is leading you in the right direction. And when the time is right, you will know it. There is a peace that comes when you know you are walking in sync with God's plan. You don't have to rush. You don't have to force things. You simply have to trust, wait, and be obedient when He calls. One of the most beautiful gifts of aligning your actions with God's timing is the peace that accompanies it. There is a divine peace that surpasses all understanding when you walk in God's will, knowing that He is guiding each step. This peace frees you from the constant pressure to achieve and perform. It quiets the anxiety that often accompanies the fear of missing out or falling behind. When you align with God's timing, you are living in the flow of His purpose for your life, and that flow brings peace. It's the kind of peace that remains even when the world around you is chaotic. It's the peace that comes from knowing that God's timing is always perfect and that He will never lead you astray. So how do you cultivate this peace in your life, chosen one? It starts with the practice of surrender. Every time you feel the urge to take control, to rush, to force things, remind yourself to surrender that desire to God. Trust that He is working even when you don't see it. Rest in the knowledge that His plan is unfolding perfectly and that He is leading you with love and care. When you surrender your need to control, you invite peace into your life. You allow God's perfect timing to guide your every move. Aligning your actions with God's timing also means embracing the lessons that come with the waiting period. You may not always understand why things are happening the way they are, but God's timing is never wasted. He is preparing you for what's ahead, and every experience along the way is shaping you into the person you need to be. This perspective transforms how you view challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing them as obstacles or delays, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. You start to recognize that the waiting period is just as important as the arrival of the blessing. In the waiting, you are being refined. God is working in your heart, teaching you patience, humility, trust, and faith. He is preparing you not only for what you are waiting for, but for who He wants you to become. Gratitude in the waiting becomes the foundation for God's blessings, And as you remain aligned with his timing, you will see the beauty of his plan unfold. Chosen one, when you align your actions with God's timing, you begin to experience life in a completely new way. You no longer feel rushed or pressured to make things happen. Instead, you trust that God is leading you step by step and that every moment is part of his perfect plan. Waiting becomes a joyful anticipation because you know that with each moment, God is preparing you for something greater. The more you align your heart, mind, and actions with God's will, the more you will experience the fullness of his peace, love, and divine purpose. Word count 102. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section 8. With 1100 words. Section 8. Chosen one, as you come to the final part of this journey, it's time to reflect on the profound peace and transformation that will follow when you fully embrace God's timing. The earlier sections have led you to understand how impatience and the need for control can disrupt your path and how waiting on God's timing is an active, intentional process. Now we explore what happens when you no longer just wait passively for things to unfold, but actively align yourself with God's perfect timing and peace. This is the moment when you step into the fullness of what God has been preparing for you. This is the moment of surrender and trust that leads to the divine fulfillment of God's promises. Embracing God's timing isn't simply about waiting. It's about waiting with the intention to see and experience God's hand at work. When you live in alignment with God's timing, chosen one, everything begins to flow in divine order. You stop striving, stop rushing, and you find that everything you need comes to you at exactly the right time. Your life becomes a beautiful testimony to God's faithfulness as you move through each day with trust, peace, and an openness to what God is doing. You learn to move with God step by step, knowing that his rhythm is always perfect. But this alignment doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean that the challenges of life will disappear. Rather, it means that you'll face these challenges with a new perspective and a renewed strength. It's not about the absence of difficulty, but about the presence of peace amidst the difficulty. The moment you truly align with God's timing, you recognize that every setback, every delay, and every challenge is part of the divine plan. Each moment of waiting becomes an opportunity to deepen your faith, to trust that God is at work in ways you can't yet see. This journey of aligning with God's timing also means releasing the burden of comparison. So often we look at others and measure our progress by their standards. We see their success and feel the pressure to keep up or do better. But when you align with God's timing, you stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. You recognize that your path is uniquely designed for you, and God is leading you at a pace that suits your needs, your character, and your calling. You no longer feel the need to rush because you trust that God's plan for you is far greater than anything you could achieve on your own timeline. Your path is your own, and it's perfectly suited to what God has in store for you. Living in God's timing also means embracing the beauty of the present moment. It's so easy to get caught up in the next thing, the next goal, the next milestone, the next success. But when you are fully aligned with God's timing, you learn to live in the moment. You stop looking to the future with anxiety and instead begin to appreciate the blessings of today. The joy of living in the present is that you experience the richness of God's presence in the here and now. Each moment, even the mundane ones, become sacred as you recognize that God is in every detail, guiding and leading you along the way. Gratitude fills your heart as you realize that everything you need you already have. God has already provided. The peace that comes with embracing God's timing is a peace that transcends understanding. In a world filled with rush and pressure, living in God's perfect timing allows you to walk in a peace that the world cannot offer. The uncertainty of life becomes an invitation to trust, and the waiting periods become opportunities for spiritual growth. As you grow in trust, you will begin to experience a shift in your heart. No longer will impatience and striving rule your life. Instead, you will walk in a peace that comes from knowing that God is in control of all things and He is leading you with love and care. Every step you take is one that He has already prepared for you, and every delay is a divine invitation to rest, to trust, and to grow. One of the most profound effects of aligning with God's timing is the transformation in your heart. As you release your need to control, you begin to live more fully in the moment, trusting that everything is unfolding according to God's plan. This transformation is a shift in your soul. You no longer measure your worth by how much you can do or how quickly you can achieve. Instead, you find your worth in God's love, and you recognize that He is with you every step of the way, guiding you toward the life He has planned for you. This inner peace becomes the foundation of your life, and everything else flows from it: your relationships, your work, your goals, and your dreams. When you align with God's timing, your life is no longer driven by external pressures, but by the quiet confidence that God is leading you. Now, chosen one, you may still face moments of doubt. You may still struggle with impatience. You may still feel the tug to rush ahead or to control the outcomes. But when those moments arise, remember this: God's timing is always right. His plan for you is always good, and His love for you never wavers no matter where you are on your journey. Trust in His perfect timing and know that He is working in you and through you, even in the waiting. He is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for a future that is filled with peace, joy, and fulfillment. Living in alignment with God's timing is not just about waiting for external circumstances to change. It's about internal transformation. It's about allowing God to work in your heart, to shift your desires, to change your perspective, and to lead you with His peace. The more you trust in His timing, the more you will experience His presence in your life. And as you embrace His perfect timing, you will find that your life begins to align with the divine flow of His love, grace, and purpose. Chosen one, embrace the peace that comes from waiting on God's timing. Trust in His process. Surrender your need for control and walk confidently in the direction He is leading you. Each step is part of a divine plan, and each moment brings you closer to the abundant life He has promised. Trust that His timing is always perfect, and know that as you align with Him, you will experience a peace that passes all understanding, a joy that cannot be shaken, and a purpose that will lead you to a life of fulfillment and divine blessing.